Go ahead and get started. First of all, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to April. Good grief. I can't believe it's April already. But anyway, welcome to our April 9th MPO meeting for Pinellas. And we'll start with the pledge. If Commissioner Flowers will lead us in the pledge.
Sure.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Before we do introductions, we'll do that in just a few minutes. I just had a few things that aren't on the agenda. First, most everybody, well, first of all, Council Member Driscoll will not be here today, so that's why I'm taking her spot, or trying to take her spot. And secondly, I think by now most have heard about Councilwoman Patty Reed's husband's passing, and Billy is his name, and Amber's their daughter's name. And so obviously our heartfelt prayers go out to them, and I just really wanted to take just a minute, a moment of silence in remembering not only our partner, our colleague, Patty, but also her husband and family. So just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You know, when you pick a life partner, it's a journey together, and many times things are expected, and other times they're not, and all times it's very difficult. But suddenly to lose somebody so quickly has got to be devastating in many ways. So anyway, our heart and heartfelt thoughts are with you and your family. I'd like to just recognize David Gwynn, who's our District 7 Secretary for FDOT. I've known David for a long time. I remember first meeting him a long time ago when we were talking about the primate sanctuary on Alt 19. And this guy, this high-ranking FDOT guy, came all the way over to meet with me and a business owner about some issues that we were having, that FDOT was having, and from that day forward, he has been a humble public servant. Just so proud to have known him, and the work that he's done for us here, and the relationship that this group has built with FDOT. It's all about partnerships and about relationships, and it works both ways. I mean, I know, Whit, you've worked awfully close to your staff with FDOT, and we just have done great things together. And I just would be remiss if I didn't introduce David. This is his last meeting with us, and I just wanted him to come up and say a few words as he leaves us, and then we'll get to his successor in just a minute. But David, it's yours, and again, congratulations on your retirement, and best wishes on that next phase of your life. But I'm going to miss you, and I know we're going to miss you big time.
Well, no, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to just get up and be able to say a few words. And I know a lot of you that have been on either this board or others that I've worked with over the years have had the good fortune to develop in good relationships with you. And for a lot of you that I've just maybe met or knew in the board, obviously, one of the things we really pride ourselves at FDOT is developing our relationships with the different partners like the MPOs. And Pinellas MPO has been a great partner. Commissioner Eggers, I know a few times I've come to you asking you, can you help on something that isn't even in your county? And for instance, the West Shore Interchange, and can we get support? And I've always come forward and stepped up and said, you know, we're looking at it from the regional perspective. We want to make sure, obviously, we look at our county, but we look at the region as well. It's important. Whit and I go back a long ways, probably 30-some years now. And quite honestly, our paths kind of followed similar paths. We both worked in the private sector and for our owners and companies for years, and then went into public service towards the end of the latter parts of our career, which I've enjoyed tremendously. But what I can tell you is that I think we're on a good path right now. There's a lot of important things happening in our region. I was really happy to see the newest 275 project in Pinellas get funded, and we just awarded it last month. So that was kind of the last big job under my tenure that got awarded. I'm really thankful that I have a successor who I know is going to do a great job in Justin Hall. He's been kind of my right-hand man and has taken over a lot of my responsibilities kind of just because he's that kind of person in the last couple years. And it'll be a seamless transition. He's going to step in and do a great job. But I'm moving to North Carolina. I have two of my daughters. I have 5 children, and 2 of them live there already. Another one's moving up there. Got grandkids. It was time for my wife and I. But I'll miss coming to these meetings. I miss interacting with you all. I thank you for the support you've given to me, and I know that you'll give to Justin as he takes over. And it would be glad if it's okay for Justin maybe just come up for those of you who have met him, but also just to introduce himself and let you know his thoughts.
For you, David, we thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and David, again, thank you, my friend, and best wishes. And you know, when we heard the news, of course, it's always mixed feelings. Like, I'm happy for you, but darn it for us. But hoping that we would find somebody that had some of your traits and some of your personality and some of your attention to details and some of your charisma and all of that. And I think you hit a home run in having Justin be selected. And so, Justin, just a few words from you. But again, congratulations, District Secretary.
Thank you.
Justin Hall.
I don't know if I'll ever adjust to that because I still think of David as the district secretary. So, and I'm working on the gray hair. It's coming. I wish I was standing here getting congratulated that I was retiring to North Carolina. But anyway, it's been a pleasure working with the Ford Pinellas staff and with each and every one of you. If I haven't met you before, I look forward to meeting you. Those that have worked with me, hopefully it was a positive experience. And if it wasn't, we'll turn that around. For me, really, it's going to be continuing with the legacy that David's built of customer service and really working with our locals to build a better and safer transportation network. I know it sounds like a canned speech, but that really is how we feel and what we believe at the district. I did not prepare to talk today, but that is just really how we feel. And I've really enjoyed working with Whit and the Ford Pinellas team and look forward to continuing to build that relationship.
Again, congratulations and
Thank you,
welcome, District Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And so this morning I was in a meeting and I heard about something that was going on up in Alt 19 from a safety perspective, and didn't like what I heard. And they're in the middle of it. They're in the middle of some stuff, and I called David Gwynn and I said, "Hey, we got a problem here." And he and Justin looked into it, and they came here this afternoon and said, we're going to take care of it. Right on the spot, in the middle of a situation. It doesn't always happen that way, but I think the logic of this situation made sense. But I really appreciate, it's always the way you've been, open-minded. You don't always do what I ask, but you've always been so responsive, and I just appreciate everything you do and look forward to working with you, Justin. All right, let's go back to introducing Mayor Ayub. You're going to start down there. We'll do introductions. It's really annoying, but we have to do that.
Is that on there? All right, yeah, Joe Ayub, Mayor of Safety Harbor. I'm relatively new here, so still trying to just get acquainted with the whole process and everything, but glad to be here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Menino, City of Clearwater Council Member.
Tom Shelley, Bel Air Deputy Mayor.
Brian Scott, Pinellas County Commission.
Mo Franey, Mayor of City of Dunedin.
Dr. Renee Flowers, Pinellas County Commissioner.
Go ahead.
Whit Planton, Executive Director. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Mike Eisner, I was the commissioner as of yesterday, but now I'm the vice mayor of Tarpon Springs, and just welcome. I love being here. Thank you.
Chris Johnson, I'm a commissioner for the city of Largo.
Brandy Gabbard, City of St. Pete, City Council Member.
Chris Shear, Pinellas County Commission.
Dave Albritton, council member, City of Clearwater, and Fort Pinellas Treasurer.
And my name's Dave Eggers, Pinellas County Commissioner. I did want to say, really appreciate everybody being here. We, recently expanded to 19 members. Last month, we had the perfect storm. I've been on the MPO for 15 years probably, and never have we not had a meeting. We didn't have a quorum last month. So again, I would just implore you to do your best. Last month, there was just so many things going on. It just happened to work out that way. But do your best to be here. It's really important that we do the business for our residents. We had 5 ahead of time say they couldn't be here, so we were down to 14. I think we're still waiting on 1 or 2 folks, but in any event, that's enough of that. Tina, do we have any citizens to be heard today?
Yes, we do. David Ballard Geddes Jr. is here.
Okey doke.
And David, you'll have 3 minutes.
Hit that button, please, at the right time. Hello, David.
Hi, good afternoon. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. After having experienced an unequivocally inefficient form of subsisting government, it's time to deliberate a new Constitution. The first sentence of Federalist Paper number 1, Hamilton abridges into a second Constitution, calling the first Constitution unequivocally inefficient. Article 7 of our current Constitution states that this Constitution is only being sufficient. Article 7 doesn't say that this is an efficient Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 of this Constitution, Clause 11, states that this government is here to capture both land and water, stating that this Constitution is under this Constitution in Article 6, constitutionally conflicting this Constitution as being a letter of marque in its self-evident conflict in and of its inefficient self. Unequivocally, the Declaration of Independence in perpetuity counterfeits itself as preamble to this Constitution, stating that this Constitution is the present history of the King of Great Britain. The Declaration of Independence continues to say that we have been placed on a train that leads to the absolute destruction of all ages and conditions in a declared usurpation process claimed as due in the 14th Amendment in such unwarranted, self-evident letter of inefficient marque, keeping in mind that it was the British that were wearing masks at the Boston Tea Party in order to save face in their self-evident constitutional scallywagging playwright of self-sufficiency, which is in fact a Machiavellian high seas act of deliberate inefficiency and unequivocal act of sacrilege and blasphemy recognized in the Reclaimed Water Variance application. Thank you.
Thank you, David. All right, we have a few recognitions and announcements, and first I'd like to invite Robert Feigl up, please. And I know Whit's going to join him up there, and I just wanted to say a few things before I turn it over to Whit. I was trying to, I'd asked, I've known Robert for a while, and he's just a wonderful county employie, and I'm glad we're getting a chance to at least say hello and thank you for his 20-year service award. But instead of picking out things here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and read what I've got, because I think it's important to recognize his accomplishments. And I turned it upside down, so I wanted to start with the most important thing first, which he's a Navy veteran and a father of 2 teenagers. So, I mean, there's all the other, all the other stuff follows that. So, but that's awesome. And he started his career with the county attorney's office before moving to planning in 2009. He began his work with the MPO by managing the TIP program and creating the very first interactive TIP. He has managed the Transportation Alternative Grants program for the last 15 years and helped overhaul how the agency accepts and vets applications. He's managed the Citizens Advisory Committee, and with all due respect to that committee, we have great people on there. That's no easy task, so I really appreciate the work that you do there. He's done that for 15 years, still has hair like that. He provides a key linkage, obviously, between us and the public. For the last several years, he's been leading the agency's role on the LCB, which also I've been on there and served as chair. Just a great group of folks that help advance issues for our local some of our local constituents, helping bring funding and services to the county and region. And he serves as our public records liaison and manages the co-op. So anyway, congratulations on 20 years. And Whit, if you wanted to say anything.
I just want to say thanks, Robert, for 20 years of service. And we've got a pin and a plaque for you as well. So here, hold this up this way and take that. And we'll get a picture with Dana. And I just want to underscore what Commissioner Egger said. The CAC is a great group, but it's a lot to manage. And you've done a great job kind of wrangling out the whenever they want to make a motion and making sure that it's clear and coherent and ready for the board. The transportation disadvantaged work that you do is really important as well. And a lot of that goes unrecognized. So I just want to say thank you for your service, and glad to have you and hope to continue the employment here.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, really good work.
Robert, microphone's yours if you want to say anything.
Yeah, sure. Just want to say what an honor it is. I really appreciate it. One thing that I've always loved about planning is it's so diverse. There's really never a dull moment. From my perspective, there's always something going on. There's so many facets to planning, as you guys either already know or you're learning. It just isn't dull. I found it very exciting. I can't believe it's been 20 years so far already. One advantage to serving for 20 years or longer that I'm learning is you get to actually see things go under construction finally. And that's great, because it always seems like it's never going to happen, right? So I'm finally seeing some things happen that I played a role in planning for 20 years ago. And so that's great. The best part is, of course, the people. That we've got a great team at Ford Pinellas, and it's just an honor working with those guys. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Again, congrats. Okay, we also get the opportunity to introduce a new principal planner. So, Whit, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very excited to welcome Nicole Galasso to our team. And Nicole, come on up and say a few words. I wanted her to introduce herself to you all because she is going to be a key part of our team. She's been with us a little more than, 2-3 weeks now? Third week. So she is a Pinellas County native, and she's coming to us from the private sector. So we are just really excited to have her level of professionalism and knowledge and technical understanding of the land use side of this agency. So do you want to say a few words, Nicole?
Yes, thanks. Thanks, Whit. I'll keep this brief, but as Whit said, my name is Nicole Galasso, and I'm Forward Pinellas' new principal planner on the special projects team. I'm a Tampa Bay native, and I've been working as a planner in the area for the past 4 years with my former employer, Kimley Horn, where some of you might have seen me at a board meeting once or twice. But I'm very excited to now be a part of the Forward Pinellas team and work for an organization that really shares my values and dedication to serving our communities. It's only my 3rd week and I'm still getting up to speed, but I already feel like I'm in the full swing of things in some ways with like TEALS implementation, corridor studies, and other projects that we have going on. So I just look forward to getting to know all of you and working alongside you towards our collective mission of moving Pinellas forward. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. All right, next item is Florida Bicycle Month. I think Dana Santos is going to come up and say a couple words about it. Hey there.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to go over Bike Your City in Pinellas Park. I'm Dana Santos. I do communications and outreach for Forward Pinellas. Bike Your City is an annual event. We do it every year. It's to celebrate Florida Bicycle Month. We've been doing it since 2017. It's arguably our biggest event that Forward Pinellas hosts in partnership with a different city each year. Basically, it's a slow guided bike tour, and it's designed to promote roadway safety, trail etiquette, and helps people explore our local amenities all around the county. We have a list of our past partner cities: Clearwater, St. Pete Beach, Largo, Safety Harbor, Gulfport, Oldsmar, St. Petersburg, Pinellas Park this year, and we had 1 year where it was virtual. Since its inception, we've had over 2,000 people participate in the event. Again, this year's partner was Pinellas Park. Our 9th annual event, we had about 73 riders this year. I suppose 74 if you count the little doggy there. We had opening remarks by Councilmember Patty Reed, Tina Russo of FDOT, and then Adam Smotrich of Pinellas Park PD. And then that was followed by a 7-mile round-trip tour. The tour took riders through the city parks as well as commercial and residential areas in Pinellas Park. And then we always try to have refreshments of some sort following the event, so thank you for Advanced Engineering and Design for providing those for our riders. We wanted to give a special shout out this year in particular to Pinellas Parks in terms of providing safety support for all of our riders. We were really blown away. We had 11 Pinellas Park police officers. They were all on e-bikes, Jeep, as well as cruisers. They flanked our riders as well as blocked all the cross streets. Like every single cross street was blocked, so we greatly appreciate that, as well as the EMS squad accompanied in case of injuries. So exceptional support this year for that, and we thank them. Also new this year, which we plan to do moving forward, we had a Pinellas Park City Guide. So it not only had the bike tour route, but it had like key interest points highlighted along the way, as well as highlighted some projects in the pipeline that were in the general area, such as Complete Street project along 60th Street, and then the Davis Commons project on 60th Street and 78th Avenue. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of provide that quick summary, and thank you all. If you have any questions, there's my contact.
Thank you, Dana. I appreciate any questions for Dana? Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. All right. We have an in-service day commentary from Tina Jablin. Tina, come on up.
Good afternoon. Like Dana, I get to come to you today and speak about another event that Forward Pinellas does annually. This is not a public outreach type of event, but an event nonetheless that we wanted to share with you all today. Each year on President's Day throughout Pinellas County, the Board of County Commissioners, as well as other appointing authorities and constitutionals, they close to the public that day for business to allow opportunities for their staff and their teams to do team building events or educational opportunities. At Forward Pinellas over the years, we have used this day as an opportunity to get out into the communities that we serve regularly, but in a different fashion. We get out and we put in some elbow grease, some grit, some grind, some hard work, and we partner with a variety of partners to do that. It's something for me that's very near and dear to my heart, as I get the lucky privilege every year of working with the staff to come up with what we're going to do that year and with whom. Not always a small task. Over the last several years, we've worked with a variety of partners, and they're up here on this screen for you all to see. We've done things with Habitat for Humanity. We've worked with Creative Pinellas. We've worked with some of the local governments, some of the cities. We've worked in homeless environments with Hope Villages. We've done beach cleanups. We helped the city of Oldsmar with some waterfront cleanup. Last year, we were fortunate enough to have a recommendation that actually came from a board member, which I loved, and that was Councilmember Driscoll suggested that we work with the St. Pete Bike Co-op, and those opportunities where we already have a connection make for better events for us, to be honest. This year, I have had the fortune of befriending an employee at the Homeless Empowerment Program. Through a connection that I made with her, I was able to come up with an event for us to do this year with them, which we really appreciated. And it allowed us the opportunity to learn more about the Homeless Empowerment Program. And they've been around for a long time. They've been here since 1986 as a local nonprofit. And they provide homeless support services, and they provide a very comprehensive amount of support services to over 450 individuals that live on their property. 40% of those are veterans that they're providing services to. And they provide everything from dental care to eye care, educational opportunities, clothing, job, everything. They have computer labs. It's quite an operation that they have there. And one small part that they also have on their facility is their empowerment garden. And that is where they put us to work on President's Day. What they do with the empowerment gardens is not only do they grow and harvest their own produce, which they use in their kitchens to feed the homeless on the property, but they also have an off-site, I guess it's kind of like a bus that they take out into the community to bring the produce to citizens that need it as well. And then the revenue that's generated from that is put back into the empowerment program. When we were there that day, we did a variety of things. We actually harvested produce, and I will say I think our staff enjoyed this event more than they have anything we've done. I don't think any of us have ever harvested from the ground produce before, so we really had a great time. We did a ton of weeding, which maybe people liked a little bit less. We mulched flower beds, we watered the gardens, and most importantly, we learned a lot about the Homeless Empowerment Program, their importance to our citizens and our community. And I'm looking forward personally to other opportunities. I know I personally plan to go back to the Homeless Empowerment Program and do some regular volunteering once I realize the magnitude of what they're doing. And I'm so thankful for my friend Tawny for having met her, because she's a beautiful soul. The minute I met her, I knew that I just instantly connected with her. Not only does she work at the Empowerment Program, but she is formerly homeless herself and lived there, and now she works there. And so if you all ever have ideas or opportunities in your local communities or programs that you're working with, we're always happy to look into those, because we want to get out into our communities that we serve regularly, but in a different way. And I think all of our staff share my sentiment that part of why we love our job at Forward Pinellas is because what we do every day impacts our local communities.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And on a personal note, my brother is in the vet dorm or the vet building at HEP. And so I appreciate everything you did to help out and to bring attention to that organization. They do great work. Okay. We're going on to the consent agenda. I asked Whit on D, F, and G, which are money related, to maybe just say a couple words so he could talk to those three items separately, and then we'll take those three together. Is there anybody else who would like to see anything pulled from the consent? Okay. Then we'll look for an approval of the consent agenda except D, F, and G. I need a motion.
Approval.
Okay. Got a motion and a second?
I'm
All in
sorry, I
favor?
didn't get that.
I'm sorry?
I didn't get the first and
Okay,
second.
sorry about that. Commissioner Flowers and Councilmember Albritton is a seconder.
And for the record, there's no citizens wishing to be heard on this item.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Whit, go ahead on D, F, and G, please.
Okay, and I just wanted to cover the budget amendment is not an increase or change in our budgetary information. It's just more of a reallocation of resources. We had a few events last fall. We had a hurricane, a couple of them, and then we had some staff changes. Jared Austin left the agency. And then we also had some lengthy delays with the procurement process through the federal government to get up and running on one of our grants. So for those reasons, we are having some additional funds coming in through the reimbursement for the hurricane activities, and then we did not get to some of these projects as quickly as we thought we would. So that's really all we're doing here.
That was D. Go ahead.
That was D. Let's go back to item E, which is the...
No, it was F. F and G.
F and G, yes,
Sorry.
the market demand study. So we gave you a presentation on the findings of the waterborne transit market demand study. We had some feedback on that study that from this board and from the Chamber of Commerce in St. Petersburg that some additional sampling would be desirable for the Hillsborough County, South Hillsborough County area and the Manatee County area. We didn't get great responses from that part of the regional demand assessment. And so we have reached out to the consultant and engaged them with a scope and fee to do some additional sampling, working with the Chambers of Commerce in those two counties, in those areas specifically with the Bay Area Apartment Association. There's been a lot of growth in northern Manatee County and in southern Hillsborough County. And we're really trying to capture the interest and level of support potentially for future waterborne services, primarily looking at potential connections between South Hillsborough County and Manatee and the city of St. Petersburg. There is an opportunity there to attract a larger share of workers from those areas. It's a growing young family kind of area, and a lot of people who are seeking employment. And getting from South Hillsborough County and northern Manatee County to downtown Tampa is kind of tough. So we think there may be an opportunity for waterborne service to provide that connection, but we're not sure. So that's what this sampling is to do. The survey will begin in April, presumably, Nasheen, if the board approves this. And then we're going to have the survey open for a little bit longer period than we had last fall. And again, we had some disruptions last fall. We are also encroaching into the holidays, so we think this is a wise use of funds. It's about $14,000 for this supplemental effort. And then for G, it's been 8 years or just about since we developed our website, and that was in response to our merge or rebranded agency in response to the merger of the Pinellas Planning Council and the MPO. So the website's gotten a little clunky. It's a little bit dated. We need to update some of the technology features. And also we're going through a refresh of the website anyway in response to some of the policy changes at the federal and state level. And so it's just a good time to take that responsibility on as well. This is our front door to the community. It's where we introduce ourselves, for the most part, to the public and where they can get an understanding of what we do. It is a fairly technical website. There's a lot of document transfers and data that we store for people to access. So the cost of this is about $54,000. And it's a not to exceed amount, and we're going to be billed hourly. So it could come in less than that, and we're going to work on that.
Thank you, Whit. Any questions on D, F, or G?
I just have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The $54,861, that's just for the consulting of the site, or does that include the building, the build out?
That includes everything.
Okay, all
Yep.
right. I just,
Standing
when
it
I was
up,
reading
building
it.
it out, yes.
Yeah, it just wasn't clear. Okay. I move approval.
Okay, a motion, second from Commissioner Scott. Any other questions? Okay.
Can I just clarify that that move approval was for all three items?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
D, F, and G.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, guys. All right, thank you, Whit, appreciate that. All right, we'll move on to the public hearing items. We have one item under the Pinellas Planning Council, and I'm going to just read the standard stuff we always have to read. We will now move into the PPC public hearings. I will first ask the board members to affirm they have reviewed the staff report and materials provided to them. If needed, forward Pinellas staff are available with the presentation and to answer any questions. So that's a little bit different. If we need a presentation, we'll ask for one. If not, we can take action. The applicant local governments are also available for questions as needed. Lastly, I will ask the proponents of the proposal to speak, then opponents, and finally any other citizens who wish to comment or ask questions on the case. At that time, the board will ask questions and then close the public hearing and deliberate and take action. So, what is the will of the board? Do we want to see a presentation? Nope.
I don't need one.
Do I, okay. Do I, I guess we'll go ahead and see if there's, if the applicant, let's see, let me make sure here. Tarpon Springs is in the house. Do they have any, did you have anything you wanted to add? Okay, no, I'm asking you first. Are you good right now? Okay. And then do we have any proponents or opponents?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. No proponents or opponents, so we don't need a presentation. Do I have a motion, please?
Move approval of KCW 2502.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll move into presentation and action items, and Councilmember Deborah Fig-Sanders, PSTA.
Microphone, please.
Yeah, push that little button down there so the red light comes on.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. The April 2025 update for PSTA. Our ridership, overall ridership on PSTA is up marginally this February over last year from 876,000 to 879,000. Beach routes still recovering from hurricanes as business come back online. The new Sunrunner station is an immediate success. The station had 3,050 riders get on and 2,606 riders get off in February, immediately turning it into one of Sunrunner's highest readership stations. Our Clearwater Ferry. We have seen an increase of 85% since February to March, from 1,660 in February to 3,063 in March. PSTA's Grouper Airport Express, new pilot on-demand service from St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport to the Clearwater Beach. The Grouper and on-demand shuttle service from St. Pete Clearwater Airport to Clearwater Beach had 142 riders in February, and the ridership continues to grow over spring break. Our connected community bus network. The PSTA board voted to adopt the connected community bus network on March 26. The planning manager, Jacob Lebutka, will be presenting the changes and next steps to Fort Pinellas today. Our Cross Bay Ferry. PSTA CEO Brad Miller met with the governor's office and FDOT when visiting Tallahassee at the beginning of this month about plans that PSTA has to issue an RFP for operations and purchase of ferries similar to the way the Clearwater Ferry Agreement works. Our spring break service. Spring break service in Clearwater runs through May 3rd. The Clearwater Jolly Trolley and Suncoast Beach Trolleys will be running extended weekend service until midnight, and the service between downtown Clearwater and the beach is free. There are 3 park and ride locations listed on the PSTA website under spring break. And in Dunedin for the Tornado Blue Jay Spring Training, PSTA's Jolly Trolley is offering park free, ride free. Service runs every 15 minutes from 90 minutes before the game until 1 hour after the game ends. Our events. Join PSTA's own Amanda Boysen tomorrow as they present their critically acclaimed and thoroughly researched History of Public Transit in Pinellas County presentation at the St. Petersburg Museum of History. Tickets are $10 and doors open at 6 p.m. And that will be the update from PSTA.
Thank you, Councilmember. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Whit, regional activities.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. For the regional activities report, I want to touch on the TMA leadership group meeting and the work that we're doing on the MPO merger. I'll just start with the TMA leadership group meeting. We met last on February 21st, and we took a little pause to talk about the merger at that meeting because we were in the middle of a procurement. So until that procurement of a consultant runs its course, there's not a whole lot we can say about the merger that hasn't already been said. But we did have a discussion of some of the regional transportation projects that are in the works. And we had presentations on the US 41, State Road 54 interchange project in Pasco County. We had some discussions on the State Road 60 corridor planning effort that District 7 is about to begin here in our county, in Pinellas County and Clearwater. And then also the Courtney Campbell Causeway PD&E study that is now underway, as well as a project in Hillsborough County. So it was nice to sort of take a step back and remember that we're still advancing regional transportation projects and doing more than just working on a merger of the MPOs. Speaking of the MPO merger discussion this Friday, we will be meeting to review the 4 proposals that were received for management and legal consulting services. I can't say much because I'm in a cone of silence, but we probably will be having some presentations in a few weeks. and then making a recommendation on a consultant to the TMA Leadership Group at its May meeting, and then the Hillsborough TPO, which is the entity that's doing the procurement, will vote on that selection likely in June. I'm very impressed with the quality of the proposals we've received. Just from my quick glance at them, I think any of the four that we received would be quality, capable firms. So it's going to be a tough choice to narrow that down to one that we recommend. But all seems very good so far. The Department of Transportation has provided the funding for this next phase of the analysis, and what they're going to be looking at are questions related to whether the MPO is hosted like it is currently by an existing local government, or whether it's an independent organization like the MPO in the Metro Orlando area is. Other questions will revolve around staffing, staffing levels, staffing organization, how we procure such things as human resources and the IT department and functions like that. They'll also be confirming the board composition. We've had some conversations about that. Believe we've made some consensus around some of those items, but it's not inked in writing, so we need to confirm all that as well. I've heard some concerns that have been expressed, from various sectors about this merger, and we're hoping that through this consultant effort, we'll be able to sufficiently answer those questions, address those concerns, and ensure that we've got a structure where everybody feels heard and respected in the regional transportation decision-making process. Selfishly, I also want to make sure that whatever regional agency we create doesn't lose the linkage we have here with this organization between land use and transportation. I think that's also important. We're probably not going to be able to impose the same exact structure we have here on the other counties, nor would I want to do that, but I would like to ensure that some level of land use transportation integration remains. So we're going to have some creative efforts to make sure that we can do that. So I'll see if anybody has any questions on regional process, and I am going to be briefing other local governments around the county on this topic in coming months. Senator Collins in Hillsborough County has also offered to host some town hall meetings, and I think that would be a great thing for others in our legislative delegation to do in each county. So I would just advise the board that over the next 6 months to a year, expect a lot of opportunities for the public and your constituents to be heard and to raise issues and questions, and we'll do our best to address those.
Any questions for Whit? I guess all I would say is that this process, it does take time, and like most of the planning projects that we have to keep revisiting. We have newly elected folks that come on these our boards, and residents that come and go as well, and so it's always a few steps back to move forward, and so it's a complicated process. I look forward to getting that group on board and helping us along the way. And I know there has also been some concerns that what we create doesn't cost more than what three of us are paying for, combined. So there's going to be that process too. We want to make sure that in merging and being more efficient, that we're not costing more for our residents. So that'll be a part of the process. So anything else for Whit? Okay. And now we're going to move on to our MPO and PPC annual audit. Julie Davis, is she here? There she comes. And she'll give us good news on the report, I'm thinking. So welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julie Davis. I'm a shareholder with Rivera Gordimer and Company, and I'm excited to go over the results of both of your audits today. First and foremost, I want to thank Whit and Rebecca, Chris, and Margie, and the entire team at Forward Pinellas for all of their hard work and efforts throughout the audit process. It's a lot of effort on top of their normal day-to-day duties to be able to provide us everything on time and on schedule to deliver the results to you all today. On the PPC side, we did start the audit back into the December and January timeframe and issued the audit on March 11th, which was in time to be included in the county's annual financial reports. For the MPO, we did most of our work in the February timeframe and just issued our audit just last week on April 2nd. And so we're excited to go over these results with you all today. And with that, I do want to point out that all of these results are summarized for Forward Pinellas as a whole, even though they are individual audits. So first and foremost is our report on your financial statements. We have issued unmodified or clean opinions on the financial statements, which means that anyone who needs to rely upon the financial statements can do so to make an informed decision. We had full cooperation from the entire team, and we had no disagreements on any accounting matters during the audit process. Our responsibilities are first and foremost under generally accepted auditing standards, where our objective is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance that your financial statements are free of material misstatement. And what that means is that we don't look at every single transaction that flows through the financials. We use a risk-based auditing approach and sampling materiality throughout our audit process to be able to render our opinion on your financials. Our responsibilities are further under government auditing standards, and this is where we really look at compliance with laws, rules, regulations, contracts, grant agreements, things of that nature. Please report that we had no compliance findings on your government auditing standards reports. We had also additional responsibilities on the MPO, which is under the uniform guidance, and this is the federal audit side where we'd come in and we look at the specific compliance requirements of your grant agreements. And we're pleased to report that we had a clean opinion on that as well. Moving down, we have internal accounting controls. We do look at internal controls to the extent necessary to render our opinion on your financial statements. We do look at the financial reporting process. We look at disbursements and payroll, everything down to how individual transactions are processed, all the way up to how they're reported to you all today, including looking at segregation of duties. We did have a material weakness noted on internal control for the MPO this year. There's a lot of changeover with going from a different outsourced accountant to a new one this year, and that financial close process did miss a year-end accrual for consulting services, which led to a material adjustment to the financial statements. Included in your audit is management's response and corrective action plan, which we've already discussed with them to hold open and look at those expenditures that are paid after year-end to make sure that those are captured in the correct period in the future. Just some required communications. Part of our audit and part of every financial statement are estimates. These are inherent in every financial statement that's issued. We're required to communicate with you all the ones that we deem to be significant to your financial statements. These included the allowance for doubtful accounts, the useful lives of capital assets, your pension and OPEB actuarial assumptions, fair value investments, as well as the fair value of right-to-use assets and lease liabilities. We did review all the estimates and concluded they were reasonable in the circumstances presented. Just some other required communications with you all. I think first and foremost, the two top ones are always the most important, which is fraud and illegal acts. We're pleased to report that we had none to report to you all today. I always like to let everyone know that if we did, you would have heard from us long ago, and we would not have waited till the end of the audit to report these to you. There was a new change in accounting policies, which is accounting changes and error corrections. This really did not have an impact on your financials, but did modify some disclosures in the financials. The adjusting journal entries, the pension-related ones and OPEB ones, are ones that are done every year. These information is not available until after we're well into the audit process, and we assist in preparing these entries. And then the other two, accounts payable, accounts receivable, that related to the finding that we had this year of making sure that those contractor expenses were recorded in the proper period and the related grant receivable for that. Moving down, we had no uncorrected misstatements or consultation with other accountants noted during the audit process. And with that, I'll touch on a highlight of the numbers for you all for this year. We're going to start with the PPC on the left-hand side here. Total assets ended the year at September 30th, up about $1 million, which ended at $3.5 million for the end of the year. This was mainly due to a result of increasing cash and cash equivalents at the end of the year, which is just a result of operations. Moving down, your total liabilities were consistent year over year at just under $3.5 million. You'll notice the individual line items like AP increased slightly, some others went down. These are all as a result of timing year over year. Your deferred inflows of resources are related to pension and OPEB. Those did go down this year, and those are a result of the actuarial assumptions as well as a result of investment earnings on those plans throughout the year. And overall, your total net deficit did increase this year, your net deficit improved this year, $1.4 million, to end at just under $660,000. And again, if we do look at that, I know it says net deficit, which typically when you're thinking equity is not a good thing. This includes a lot of non-cash items, which are your FRS pension plans, your OPEB plans with the county, and things of that nature that would only come to fruition if you cease to exist one day. Moving over to the MPO side, overall, you'll notice that year over year, we're looking at pretty consistent comparability. Your assets this year were about $1.5 million, And then you'll notice that your cash and cash equivalents in your AR this year did fluctuate a little bit, and those are mainly due to timing on grant receivables. Total liabilities are slightly down year over year, which resulted in your total net position for the year to be at just over $1.1 million, which is an increase of $250,000 year over year. And finally, on the last page is a summary of the statement of activities. Again, starting on the left-hand side with the PPC, total revenues this year were about $4.6 million, an increase of about $823,000 from prior year. The big changes, you'll notice program revenues did increase significantly this year. This was a result of increased contracts with local governments. And then your property tax revenue also increased this year as a result of property values. Program expenses this year were $3.2 million, a small increase, about $157,000 from last year. This was the result of mainly contract services as well as intergovernmental expenses related to fringe benefits that increased this year. Your largest expense on the PPC side is your payroll. These are consistent year over year at about $2 million, and that's about 60% of the total expenses for the PPC is related to payroll. Moving over to the MPO side, overall you'll see total revenues increase this year about $711,000. They ended at just over $2.8 million for the year. This is mainly as a result of increase in activity and all the different grants that you all have. Total program expenses increased this year as well, $212,000 to end at $2.5 million. You'll notice that's an increase of about 9% year over year, which was mainly due to consulting work for the UWP, as well as an increase in overall just general expenses throughout the year. Again, on the largest payroll for the MPO, your largest expense on the MPO side is payroll, which is about $1.3 million, and is consistent with last year. And on the MPO side, that results in about 53% of your total expenses is payroll related. Overall, that's a high-level summary of the numbers, high-level summary of our audit results, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you for the detailed report, and does anybody have any comments?
No, there are no citizens wishing to be heard on this item.
Okay, need a motion, Commissioner Flowers?
Approval of the MPO and PPC annual audit.
And a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item D, Local Government and Grant Program. Chelsea, there, she's already here. Hi, Chelsea.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be speaking with you about some recommendations for grants that we provide to our local government partners. Now, the program that we're talking about today really came from our agency's Complete Streets program. We have been annually since 2017 handing out up to $100,000 annually for planning projects and up to $1 million annually for construction projects. Some of the projects that you're probably very familiar with that have come out of this grant program include 34th Street South in St. Petersburg, Skinner Boulevard in Dunedin, St. Petersburg Drive in Oldsmar, Rosary Road in Largo. Our grants have really been spent throughout Pinellas County on a variety of different projects. Now, as we've been doing this since 2017, our local governments have come to us and asked for a bit more flexibility. They're not just looking to do complete streets projects. They'd like to do other projects with other components, particularly on the planning side of things. So last year, we went and we proposed some changes to our Complete Streets program to make it more of a local government grants for any type of transportation projects. We did receive authorization from the board last June to adjust our program. We issued a call for projects last July, and now we have the recommendations that are going to come before you today. The planning funds come out of our own budget, so those funds are available on July 1st of this year. And then projects that seek construction funding, we try to aim for adding those to the new 5th year of the next work program. So when you see your priority list next month, you're going to get a draft of that. You'll see near the top is our recommendation for the construction project. And we put it near the top so that FDOT knows to fund that first and then move down the line. So that's why we target for 2031 for those construction dollars. Now, the planning grants, I did say that we provided $100,000 annually. We are looking to increase that to $150,000. So that's what we put out for the call for projects. All government agencies are eligible to receive this funding. And instead of just doing complete streets planning, it was open to all kinds of planning studies that related to transportation with a linkage to land use. So we were going to consider any planning projects. Construction projects, we made up to $3 million available. With that, again, expanded eligibility, we offered up technological equipment, should local governments want that, amenities that could be placed in government-owned right-of-way, and then we made some changes to the project scoring and project support. When it came to the planning projects, we only received one application. We talked to our local government partners about why this is. With the BIL or IIJA, the federal funding that's been coming down, a lot of our local governments, especially the smaller ones, are overwhelmed. They have a lot of projects going on, they have a lot of work going on, and we were also told that given the 1-year delay in receiving the funding, it's a whole lot of work for them to wait to get the funding to do something. So that's why they were a little tepid in their responses. But we did receive this one application from St. Pete requesting $120,000 to do a micromobility expansion feasibility study. Now, this study will evaluate the market demand for the expansion of the micromobility that already exists in the downtown area. It's going to look at the feasibility of dispersed satellite systems and really just identify the areas throughout the city that would be most conducive for this expansion. We received 4 applications for construction funding, 2 from the city of Pinellas Park, both of those along 60th Street, which Dana noted was part of our Bike Your City. We were able to actually bike along that corridor and see where those improvements would be going. One from the city of Clearwater for roadway enhancements along Fort Harrison, from Bel Air up to Alt 19, and one from Pinellas County for $3 million to look at some improvements to Sunset Point Road. Now, when we received these applicants in the past, we didn't have a defined scoring system, and we heard from this board that you'd like to see a little bit more quantitative analysis on that. So we put together a review team that included non-applicant members of the Technical Coordinating Committee. And then we had them meet together and score each of the projects on a scale of 1 to 5 against the criteria that you see up there on the screen. So it was a little subjective, but still had some points backing it up. And this is the result of how that shook out. Once all of the scores were put together, we averaged them, and then we dropped the highest and the lowest score provided so that we got more of to kind of a median average. The top 2 projects were the Pinellas Park projects. They were each requesting $1.5 million, so it came right into that $3 million mark. And then the city of Clearwater and the Pinellas County projects scored significantly lower than the 2 Pinellas Park projects. So given that, the subcommittee recommended that $120,000 be provided for the St. Petersburg planning project and that each of the Pinellas Park applications be advanced for construction funding. When we brought this recommendation to our advisory committees, including the Technical Coordinating Committee and the Citizens Advisory Committee, they both expressed unanimous support for that recommendation, and that's what we have before you today. So I'm happy to take any questions, but ultimately we are looking for a recommendation from this board.
Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Chelsea. So raising the study money from $120,000 to $150,000, is that intended to try to solicit more applications, make it a little bit more inviting?
Kind of, but it's also intended to just be able to provide more resources to our local government partners. Because of this process and only receiving one, we actually heard from some of our smaller local governments that they don't want to have to go through all of this. They really need more immediate access to funding to help them with their planning needs instead of waiting a whole nother year. So we are going to be proposing even more changes to our program to be able to be a little bit more proactive and a little bit more reactive instead of planning long range to get those funds to our local government partners for their needs.
When was the last time that was increased?
That would be this past year. It was $100,000 before this year.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
How do you get the message out to the communities to know when to apply for this, and how do they apply for it? I'm just ignorant to that.
Oh, you're good. So we get it out through our Technical Coordinating Committee. We also send the information to every city manager throughout Pinellas County for smaller governments that might not have staff. We do a press release. We call individually the smaller local governments who we don't hear from very often to let them know, hey, we've got this. Can we talk to you about your ideas? We do a lot of press as well. So we try to get in front of every single local government. We have a defined application process for each one of our different grants, and that information is included when we release the information with a link so that they can go to the website, see all the application requirements. Our staffs will sit down and meet with them individually to talk through their projects. We actually require kind of a pre-application meeting so we can talk through what their thoughts are and make sure it aligns with the different grant programs. It's pretty interactive as we go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
In addition to that, I'm also meeting with the city managers, and Tina is working with me to schedule those meetings. And that's partly in response to this being more proactive and less bureaucratic and a little more timely in providing that assistance. And I'll tell you, those meetings are going really well. It's a kind of a breath of fresh air to sit down with the city manager. I had a great meeting with your city manager in Dunedin and others, and they don't even know some of this is available. I had a meeting in Bel Air Bluffs, and they didn't even know that we could help them do some planning for a project that's technically a county road. And I said, well, we're going to bring the county along, but yes, you can absolutely use this funding to work on a project that you don't actually own the road or manage the road, but we certainly need to make sure Pinellas County or whoever owns it is good with it. So there's been a good amount of education that I've had in those meetings, and I've learned a lot. So I think we're going to continue to do that, and that's another avenue. And your city manager is on the list because you've got a new one, Safety Harbor's got a new one, and we want to make sure we have those touch points.
Any other questions? Yeah, just on the planning side, since we only had the one application, we were, I'm assuming, just a little bit more giving, that if we had other applications with the $150,000 limit, it would have been spread a little bit more. Is that what I'm?
It's possible. We've done that in the past. Part of the application, we ask the local government, what's the least you'd be willing to accept? That way, if there are two competing ones that could fit within that cap, we could work with them and try to make sure we could fund as many as possible.
Yeah, I think it's obviously important to let those folks know that it exists, but also if they need some help getting it together. Sometimes they just, the staff's not there to do it, as you've pointed out. And we have to make sure that the county and the city of St. Petersburg don't, scarf up everything.
Yes.
But you can see clearly Clearwater in the county struck out, so. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Any other questions? What's that? No, it wasn't District 4. It was District 5, actually. Tell that Vala that. All right. Anything else? All right, so we need a motion to, any comments over there?
No, sir, there's no citizens wishing to be heard on this item.
Okay, thank you. Did I hear a motion?
Yeah, move approval.
Commissioner Scott on the motion, or Councilwoman Gabbard on the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Let's move right on to 7E.
Yeah. All right, so before you today are performance measures and targets. A couple months ago, you may recall, we addressed safety performance measures and targets. And so today we're addressing some more of the system performance and maintenance targets. So very much like safety, Federal Highway sets the measures that are required, or the MPOs are required to report on. And then the MPOs are able to set the targets. For safety, we set those in January. And MPOs have the ability to either support the statewide targets, or we can set targets of our own that maybe more adequately reflect what's happening here in Pinellas County. For our safety measures, we have decided to set our own targets. For the system reliability and condition, it's a little bit more varied, the approach that we're recommending that we take. And really it's because we need to look at how we prioritize projects that help meet the targets that we set. As an MPO, we typically don't do a whole lot of prioritization when it comes to resurfacing projects. The local governments, the county or the state, they tend to handle the maintenance of the system on their own as needs arise. So we have a little bit less flexibility or control over those targets. So we really need to consider the discretion we have as an MPO when we set these targets. So the targets that we're talking about today, and it's important to point out, these are only for the National Highway System roadways. And these are the roads that are shown on the map above. the data that we are given by the state are only covering these facilities. Bridge and pavement condition are the responsible of the entity with jurisdiction, whether it be Pinellas County or the state or a city, but for the most part, these measures only address those roads up on the map. So when it comes to pavement condition, it's important for a variety of reasons, obviously. One of the more important ones that's come up a lot in recent years is cracked windshields. Some of you, Commissioner Eggers, I know that you recall US 19 in the northern part of the county was in terrible condition a few years ago. We were getting a lot of reports of cracked windshields and complaints from the public. So that's why we try to set the measures for pavement condition to make sure that we're not having these problems and potholes all over the place. For the pavement condition, the state has set their targets. You can see in the second to last column over there on the right, for percent of interstate pavement in good condition, the state set a target of 60%. Our staff is recommending that we match that and support the statewide target. When it comes to the percent of the interstate pavement in poor condition, the state set their target at 5%. Again, we're recommending that we match it, given, you can see on the second row there, we have 0% of our non-interstate roadways are in poor condition. When it comes to the percent of the non-interstate roadways, now this is just on the NHS, National Highway System, the state is recommending a target of 40%. Our staff has recommended that we actually match the interstate condition of 60%. And that's really because we have so many roadways in this county that are not on the interstate, but still part of that national highway system. These roadways get a lot of traffic, like your US 19s, your Ulmertons, your Roosevelts. And we felt that it was important to make sure that those roadways are maintained to the same level of standard as the interstate. So the staff recommendation on that is to seek 60% instead of just the 40%. And then percent of non-interstate roads in poor condition, the state set that target at 5%. We're recommending that we match it. When it comes to bridge condition, this is where we look at the percent of those bridges in good condition by deck area and then in poor condition by deck area. The state set a target in 2022 of 50%. They're looking to keep that same target. They're not recommending any changes at this time, so we are recommending that we also match that. You can see the past numbers in Pinellas County. They jump around quite a bit in terms of good condition. They were pretty high, and then they got a little bit lower. Part of this has to do with the Howard Franklin Bridge by deck area, the existing bridge structure that's going into Hillsborough County that's about to be replaced and repurposed. That's almost done. So a lot of our deck area is on that structure, so those numbers should be going up when you see this again in the future. And then in terms of percent of NHS bridges in poor condition, we're recommending again that we support the 5% that the state had. Travel time reliability, this one's always, oh, sorry.
Sorry, just
yes, sir.
Before I leave the pavement condition on page 6, this said statewide targets, that's what most counties are doing, or is that what the state is actually?
That's what the state sets for all of the state. And then individual MPOs can choose to support those or something different.
So 40% is what they're targeting?
Yes.
Now, again, I'm not a practicing engineer, but it just seems to me that when you're in your 30s and 40s, that's poor. Is that, did I remember
It is fairly low. I will say that the state of Florida has a lot of roads all throughout the state in various levels of condition. So I can't.
That was very well said. with FDOT in the house,
Yes.
well said. Okay, well, I'm glad we don't agree with that. But that just seems, well, anyway, inordinately low. But go ahead, continue.
So travel time reliability. This number, when you see it on the slides, it's reported in ratios. If it's 1.1, it means a trip that would take about 20 minutes, at 2 o'clock in the morning when there's no traffic, is going to take the same 20 minutes any time of the day. So that's a 1.0. You expect it to take 20, it's going to take 20. 2.0 means that if you would expect it to take 20 minutes, and it usually takes 20 minutes, but today it takes 40 minutes, that's a 2.0. And I also want to point out, reliability does not mean good. It just means reliable. So this is an example up on the screen. This is not a real example. These are just fake numbers. Say you're traveling on US 19 southbound from Curlew to 118th. On Monday, it takes you 20 minutes. On Thursday, it takes you 60 minutes. It's all over the place. This is an unreliable trip. If it took you 60 minutes every single day, that's a terrible trip, but it's a reliable trip because it's what you would expect. So the trip B that you see up on the screen, 275 southbound from Howard Franklin to 54th, generally, it takes you about the same amount of time every day. Doesn't mean that's a great amount of time, but if it's generally the same, that's considered reliable. So reliability is really just looking at those differences.
Is there a time of the day that these are taken, or did I miss that?
This is just an example. So just your average trip.
I was just wondering if you were doing US 19 northbound and it was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It would be 60 every single day.
Yeah, it would be horrible.
Yes.
And FDOT is in the house, and it is just totally unacceptable on the delay on 19 from Countryside up to Curlew.
Yep.
And you get past that,
It opens right
it's not bad. I mean, Tampa's normal, reasonable. But when you're stopped all the way down to the mall sometimes, there's got to be a better system. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I'm always calling Tom Washburn to tell him about different situations, but it's just, there's got to be, this is only going to last another 4 years. We're going to have so many people with PTSD having driven on 19. And, even trying to get over to Belcher and over to McMullen Booth, it's just, it's difficult because of how you have to get there in the left-hand turns to get onto it. And we're trying to give more time for that. But it's just a really bad situation. And I'm not sure how it can get any better, but something's got to give. And the other day, I saw an accident somewhere. There was an emergency in that junk of like 4 lanes of nonstop, it was just absolutely gridlocked. So they had to come up the other side of 19 to get to the accident. So now you have the south side going from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes at one point. And it wasn't for long, but nonetheless, you couldn't even get to it because of it. So from a safety perspective, from a, keeping the sanity of our residents perspective, I mean, that's just a problem. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just taking the opportunity to talk to our new, district.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a really important point is that, Chelsea, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't reliability pretty much a function of the safety and the crashes that happen because it's those non-recurring levels of congestion that just madden you. I mean, if you're expecting a 1-hour trip, you kind of plan for it. Mentally, you get prepared for it. You may not like it, but you get prepared for it. But it's when, like last night, leaving the Rays game, instead of a 20-minute drive home, it took me 55 minutes. That's what's frustrating. And roads are closed and lanes are reduced, and you don't really know why.
Yeah. Well, certainly, I appreciate that perspective. I'm sure those folks driving north on 19 are expecting it, but that doesn't make it any less. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so for the recommendations here, we are recommending that we support the statewide targets for each of these measures. For the percent of person miles traveled on the interstate that are reliable, the state's target is 75%. As you can see from the past 5 years in Pinellas County, we have been pretty much above that target the entire time, as high as 99% in 1 year. Again, this is reliable, this is not good. So our trips on the interstate in Pinellas County are fairly predictable for the length of time they're going to take. When it comes to percent of miles traveled on the non-interstate roadways, the state's target is at 60%. And as you can see up on our screen, generally the average trip in Pinellas County is above 80% for reliability. So we are recommending that we support the statewide target. Truck travel time, that's a little bit different. The target that the state sets is 2.0. So if a trip, just a reminder, if you expected it to take 20 minutes, 2.0 would be a 40-minute trip. So 2.0 is the recommended statewide target, and because we don't really have an issue with that here in Pinellas County, we are recommending that we also support the statewide target on that one as well. Yes, sir.
This chart is a little bit skewed, though, correct? And let me explain why I say that. Back in 2019, we did not have COVID yet. And then we had COVID in 2020, which is not so much why the roadways became more improved, but we had less people on the road. And then it seemed to just degenerate again back as more and more people came out of the house. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So isn't this a little bit skewed according to the pandemic rather than the results of our roadways?
To an extent, yes. And that's exactly why these numbers are required to be updated every 4 years. We're required to take a fresh look at them. However, we're allowed to look at them every 2 years if we think things have changed. This is one of those 2-year updates because of COVID. So we're taking a look at the numbers now, and in 2 more years, we're going to take another fresh look. These are ones that we constantly monitor to see what's going on so that we can make adjustments as needed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on the non-interstate trips, how does Pinellas County compare to other urban counties? Are we better or are we worse? Do you know?
We're fairly consistent with other urban counties. Pinellas is a little different because so much of us is urban. If we compare ourselves to, say, Miami-Dade, Broward, then we're a bit more in line, for sure. But so many of our counties around us, especially in the Tampa Bay area, have the urban-rural divide. So our numbers don't really mesh up with theirs. But our East Coast partners that are pretty much in redevelopment mode, not built out, they do see similar numbers to us.
So I guess I'm a little curious on that particular category. We've never scored lower than 86.6.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we not want to set that a little higher to be a little more reflective of kind of where we generally average out, or do we just not want to put too much pressure on ourselves, or?
So that's always an option. One of the constraints I think that we have here in Pinellas County when it comes to reliability is the density of our roadway network and the fact that we do have so many cars on the road at all times. The safety factor that Whit mentioned, a couple crashes can really skew the entire system. And also the inability for Pinellas to really add significant roadway capacity to help mitigate some of those numbers of reliability. We can't keep adding more roads around just because of our geography and those limitations. So if we set the bar too high, we might run into some issues. But of course, that is at the pleasure of the board if you'd like to go in that direction.
Right. Your point is very valid about we don't have the room to add more capacity. So I think we're going in directions of using AI to better manage that. Mm-hmm. I know the county's making some significant investments in advanced traffic management systems, and I just saw an article this morning that the city of St. Pete is doing the same. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I understand the methodology, and I'm fine with it. I'm just, maybe for the future, we kind of watch that number and just be interesting to see how we can manage that lack of expansion capacity ability with technology.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another reason that we expanded our grant program to be able to give the cities and the county some additional resources to help augment their advanced traffic management system investments.
Any other questions? Yeah, and you bring up a good point, Commissioner, that the technology piece is just like super critical. I mean, sometimes depending on where I'm driving and my level of expectation of traffic, I'm going up McMullen Booth a lot of times, and of course, about that time, Tom gets a call from me because I always like to talk to Tom about traffic. But we talk about technology at intersections, and I'm sitting at an intersection and there's really nobody crossing. There's nobody turning left, there's nobody turning right, there's no person hitting a button that kind of throws things off sometimes. Mm-hmm. And yet we just sit there and I look in my rearview mirror and it's backed up like crazy. So I think the AI and the technology is super critical to that next level of performance, because I mean that just goes to just keeping traffic moving, for crying out loud. And whether we're doing some intersection work and maybe it's a lot of left-hand turns, so we do 2 lanes of left-hand to clear it quicker. And I always try to bring up this rush hour versus normal hour. I mean, sometimes you can't tell the difference, especially around spring break, but a lot of times that 2-hour window, this seems to me there can be some adjustments and prioritize work traffic versus, if you're going out to dinner at 4:30, just realize that we're prioritizing work hour traffic during that 2 hours, and you're going to have to, just to make some logical, common sense adjustments that reliability piece needs to be better. And I think technology can help us.
Absolutely. So this slide here is really just a summary. On the far right, the only number that you see in red, that is the only deviation that we are recommending from supporting the state targets, and those are those non-interstate roads in good condition. And then also highlighted at the top, the only target that we are not currently meeting, well, with the 2023 conditions, that's the most recent data year available, was the percent of interstate pavement in good condition. And this is because of the stretch of I-275 coming off the Howard Franklin down towards Gandy Boulevard. It was under construction, and obviously the department wasn't going to resurface that on its own. Now that that project is wrapping up, the pavement condition is better, and we expect to see that change and us to come back up into the green with the next time we report on this. I'll also point out that we brought this to the advisory committees, and there was unanimous support from both the TCC and the CAC on the recommended targets for Pinellas County. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. And in the spirit of giving FDOT a little bit of a tough time, when we had these spider problems and the window breaks up in North County, and we called on them, and they were out within a very quick time to at least put some type of coating down. They didn't want to invest big dollars because there's a new pavement program coming, or a cycle, and but they were up there trying to bring a temporary solution quickly, because those are obviously huge safety issues. So appreciate your presentation, Councilman.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't know, I must be driving on a different road than everybody else, but on 19, every single U-turn spot, every left turn spot, it's not a road, it's gravel. And I mean, I noticed this, and I just don't understand why, as Commissioner Eggers just said, why somebody isn't out there putting some sort of coating on it, at least to maintain it, because I get accused of breaking quite a few windows, even though I have nothing to do with it. But it's pretty much every single U-turn, every single left turn, every place that you're getting onto 19, where people are accelerating, it's just all gravel. There's so many rocks there. Something has to be done with that. You know, the other thing I did want to bring up when you were discussing the condition of poor bridges, that was my Beckett Bridge that you had, and that's been just delayed, you know, constantly. And I know we have a date now of December, and I'm not holding my breath on that one either. But it's almost like people have said to me, we're kind of waiting for a car to go into the water. It's not that deep, so I don't think they're going to get too badly hurt. But I mean that sarcastically. But it needs to get done. I think the last time that was done was 1954. And it's so far beyond, I'm just hoping something gets done. It's going to be a 2-year project. It's going to shut down people, but it's pretty bad. So, you know, anything that can be done, I would appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Commissioner.
Can I ask on the Pinellas County 2025 target of 60% versus the 2023 condition of 42.2% of non-interstate in good condition, where are we now or in 2024?
So unfortunately, we don't have that data. There is a 1-year lag in the data. So the 2023 is the most recent that we have. We probably won't see the 2024 until September, October of this year.
So should our target be the same as the state target? Because the last time we measured it, we're at 42% and the state target's 40%?
That is an option. We recommended elevating it at the staff level just to match the interstate, because we thought it made more sense to have all of the roads at the same level of good repair instead of having different targets for the two.
I understand we're all experiencing huge municipal inflation for roadways, unbelievable percentage increase every year. So I just wondering if we should go with a target that we can hit. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I know that 3 or 4 years ago, and we have the penny that we use in the county for road paving. And, but we also added another 40 million a year by increasing our millage. They're called infrastructure millages, and there's 3 of them. Those are the first 3 we want to get rid of as soon as we can, find another source. But the road ratings have started to creep up, which is great. But it takes time and it takes a commitment. And again, it's just money, but it's really a tough time. Obviously, all these projects just were outrageously expensive, and so you're not getting as much money, as much bang for your money, you know. So I certainly understand your point, but I do like pressing the target, especially for our our urban county. I think it's a good idea to keep that, to shoot for the stars, so to speak. Even though I don't see 60% as the stars, it's sure a lot better than a poor rating. Yeah. Anybody else have any? Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. When these estimates come in, are they per location or are they the entire Pinellas County? What I'm trying to say is like, for argument's sake, is Tarpon comparison 23 to 24? How do you get your numbers? Do they come in per area or do they come in as a whole?
So we actually get them as a whole for Pinellas County. I know that the state maintains it much more closely. For example, the bridge condition. When I saw we went from 80% down to 40%, I immediately called FDOT and asked, okay, what happened in there? And it was explained to me it's 275, the Howard Franklin Bridge. That's the biggest issue. For the pavement condition, we did not follow up to see exactly where those issues are. FDOT does, however, maintain a really good inventory of their roadway conditions so that they can help prioritize funding to be able to resurface as needed. And they're well aware of the issues on US 19 North.
So is there a way for us to acquire updates per their location as they're getting it in, as what Deputy Mayor was asking, so that we at least can have, we don't have to wait till October to get a full report, but we could get it by segment as they get it, because they can't be doing the entire report all at once any which way. So as they get it in per section, couldn't we be getting updates like that?
Let me follow up with FDOT to see what data is available and how easy it is to pull and how regularly we can get it, and I'll follow up with you on that.
Excellent. Thank you. That's what I mean. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. I assume, Tina, there's nobody there that has any questions?
David Ballard Geddes Jr. is asked to speak on this item.
David.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Speak on this.
Go ahead.
David Ballard Geddes Jr., good afternoon. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. 19 years after Countryside Mall was put in, it finally dawned on somebody that we need a bridge on US 19 there at Countryside Mall intersection. About that time, they were starting to think about developing bridges down by Clearwater Mall. For years, it was nothing but Bob's Barricades. Nothing was really getting done. They were just renting a lot of Bob's Barricades. Now, today, they've quickly put in those bridges, but it also includes a toll road that kind of ties into it. So we're paying a king's ransom in taxes in this county for our roads, and now we have to pay also a tax to drive on a toll road as well. It's not adding up to us that are paying taxes when the government's dragging their heels so much. We need bridges clear through Weeki Wachee to include Crystal River. Yesterday, the Department of Transportation's clearly dragging their heels on all of our roads here. US 19 is a classic example of what they're not doing with our tax money. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, David. All right. Do we have a motion for approval of the new targets, please?
So moved.
Commissioner Eisner was the motion maker, and Commissioner Flowers, yes? No, Commissioner Flowers was the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to our last presentation. Jacob? Is Jacob here? Yep, there he is. Talk about our PSTA community bus plan.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jacob Labutka, Planning Manager at PSTA. Very excited that this is the first stop on my post-Connected Community Bus Network implementation tour. We're going to recap today on some of the elements that went into this work to lead to the recommendations over the last year and a half, and what some of the next steps are for the network that was approved at the March PSTA board meeting. So just a few overall tenets of the Connected Community Bus Network. So first and foremost, this is a cost-neutral set of recommendations that we're able to operate with our existing fleet and operating budget. As the name implies, the recommendations that we are implementing very much function as a network, which is why we are looking to implement this all in one go. As evidenced by the chart here, this has been a multi-step, very thorough process, both from a data side and from an outreach side. We typically undergo this sort of effort every 5 years, as this was formerly called our community bus plan before it was branded. So we do this exercise about every 5 years to take a look at our transit system and see what sort of recommendations we can make based on changes in market demand, et cetera. And I'd say this is probably one of the most expansive changes to the network that has been done, certainly in my time here, and for much longer, I would say. And so the Connected Community Bus Network has a few tenets to be clear, consistent, and connected. So we want it to be clear by having route schedules that are easier to understand with more consistent frequencies. We want to have more consistency across the network. As some of you know, particularly those who are on the PSTA board, there are many routes today in our service area that do not operate on Sundays. And so with the exception of a few of our services, the majority of routes in this network will operate 7 days a week. And lastly, we want the system to be connected. And so the routes have been designed in time to improve the transfer experience for our riders in our community. Shown here is a map of our existing network that is color-coded by frequency. So just to briefly explain the color coding on the map, for those that may not be as familiar, the routes in red are those routes that operate every 15 minutes, like our Sunrunner BRT service. The routes in purple, like our Route 60 on State Road 60, operate every 60 minutes. Those in blue, like the Route 19 on US 19 North, operate every 30 minutes. Those in green, like the Route 62 on Belcher, operate hourly. The dashed routes are our limited express routes to Tampa, and the yellow is our on-demand zone. So shown on the next map, that's today, and shown here is what was approved by the PSTA board at the March 20, the board meeting from last month. So as you can see here, pretty much everywhere, or most places that are served today are still served by PSTA in this set of recommendations. We've done a lot of reconfiguring of our services to have more streamlining and efficiencies in the network. And so there's a lot of specific changes that went into the plan. But for the sake of time, I'll kind of speak to kind of 6 key themes that went into the development and inspired the changes in this plan. So I'd say first and foremost, we're wanting to be responsive to the fact that there's a lot more travel over the weekends and there's more demand for services on the weekend. In the last few years, post-COVID, we've seen the highest ridership recovery on our weekend services on the weekend. So not that there's not still demand for weekday services, but the weekends have rebounded a little bit more. So we know that we're certainly a 7-day-a-week economy here in Pinellas County, particularly given our tourism industry and our service sector economy. And so as such, we shifted some of our resources, particularly some services that provide additional peak hour services, and have moved those to the weekend to provide that consistent service 7 days a week across most of our system. We've also made changes to be responsive to the fact that we are certainly a tourist-driven economy. For example, bringing some of the trolley routes out on Clearwater Beach by having some of our operated Suncoast Beach Trolley and our contracted Jolly Trolley services better scheduled to provide service more consistently every 15 minutes out on Clearwater Beach. And of course, parallel to this plan, as was referenced earlier, we're also looking to provide ferry services, which we currently do with the Clearwater Ferry Service, and soon going out to RFP for the Cross Bay Ferry Service between St. Pete and Tampa. We're also looking to capitalize on our premium core routes, those that operate very frequently, every 15 minutes and better. So we're trying to expand within our existing budget our offerings of frequent services by doing the better staggering of the trolley routes that I just referenced, and in addition, on the southern part of the map, introducing the Spark service that will be a limited stop premium service operating every 15 minutes, 7 days a week between Grand Central and Eckerd College. This plan also seeks to increase access to jobs with how we've configured the routes and increasing the span of service on evenings and weekends, which I'll touch on a little bit more in the next 2 slides. We're also looking to decrease travel time with what's called time transfers, which at select locations such as downtown St. Pete and Park Street Terminal in Clearwater, scheduling the routes to where they would arrive within about a 10 to 15 minute window to help facilitate transfers and decrease travel times, particularly for those routes that come every 30 to 60 minutes that increase travel time pretty significantly for those riders that may miss their connection. And lastly, this is within our existing operational budget. So speaking to the job piece briefly, so we did an analysis of the plan to see how this increases access to jobs. So the services have been configured that during a standard weekday during the middle of the day, there is an increase in access to jobs for the average resident of about 6%. But we see the most notable increases in access to jobs for riders in the evenings and on weekends. So shown here on the chart are the number of jobs that the average resident can reach within 1 hour on transit today in gray and within our existing system in orange. And we ran this analysis both for all potential riders and residents of Pinellas County on the left, but we also did the same analysis for demographics who are more likely than the average resident to use transit, including residents of color, low-income residents, and households without vehicles. And so for the average resident, the increase in job access increases by about 24%, which is obviously pretty good. And that increase is slightly more for the populations who are more likely to use public transit. We ran the same analysis for Sunday, and so you see the bar graphs are a little bit lower just because there is less service out on the street on Sundays, since more of our routes do operate hourly. However, just by expanding our offering of services on Sundays, we see similar increases in job access on the weekends as well. This is also a very extensively public-driven plan. We've done extensive amounts of outreach across all phases of this project, particularly over the last few months as we've had the recommendations on the screen out. So we've been talking internally with operations team, externally to local government stakeholders, to riders and other community stakeholders, going out riding buses, going to transit terminals. We had a big public hearing last month, a picture on the top right at our, we called our Bus Network and Bagels event. I even went on a podcast showing the picture on the bottom, which the picture thankfully does not show me the coffee that I spilled during the podcast, but thankfully no radio equipment was harmed during the filming of the podcast. So we really tried to reach as many different corners of our community, both in person and digitally, through this effort as possible. So as part of that outreach, in the last phase of engagement, we took the set of recommendations and asked a series of statements that we wanted respondents to answer. So just as a brief summary of that survey, shown here is the statement that we asked survey respondents regarding the recommendations shown earlier. The statement, the draft network will be better for the county overall. Respondents could answer on a scale of strongly agree on the left to strongly disagree on the right. So as shown by the strongly agree and agree in blue, roughly 2/3 of respondents agreed that they thought the network would be better for the county overall. Roughly the quarter thought it would be about the same, neither agreed or disagreed, and only about 10% of survey respondents disagreed. And so based on the work, what we've were told by our consultant on this project, Jarrett Walker and Associates, they said that these are actually much better responses than they've seen with other system redesigns in other places. But that being said, we still wanted to make modifications where possible for those who may not have thought the system didn't work as well for them. So we were making modifications to the recommendations even up until about 2 weeks before the final board vote to try to address as many concerns as possible. In the survey, we also had a series of comments that we received from respondents. So we asked the question of what people liked and what people would change. So some of the things that people liked in the plan are the increased frequency on certain core routes, such as the Spark service, the extended service on evenings and weekends, the improvement of the transfer and connection experience and the more simple network design compared to maybe some of the meandering that some of our routes do today. But we also wanted to hear thoughts on what maybe they disliked or things that they would change. So I think some respondents just wanted more of what we were offering in the plan. So I think people certainly want more frequency on more routes, more service on evenings and weekends to improve the span of service, and a reduction in travel time, particularly for our riders who have to make cross-county commutes between South and North County, which can take a while on transit and would still probably take a while on some of these services today. And so I think one of the things that's great about these comments is that we were able to incorporate comments from the public, particularly over the last few months at the public hearing and other events, into the plan. And I think these comments will also help inform some of our efforts going forward for some of our long-range projects. Which brings me to some of the next steps involved with this effort. So now that these set of recommendations are approved, we are meeting very regularly to do what needs to be done to implement by our target launch date of this fall. So we're currently working on doing the scheduling work to reschedule our entire system, doing a lot of coordinations with our operations and communications team to ensure that this is communicated effectively and planned with operations in mind, and probably most importantly, we're going to be planning a series of public workshops and town halls over the next 6 months before implementation to ensure our riders and our community members are informed of the changes. So I would say if any of you have any recommendations or would like any PSTA staff to speak to anybody in your communities, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to do that. And in addition, for next steps, over the next year, we are going to be working on our major update to the transit development plan that we'll be working on very closely with the Forward Pinellas team to ensure that the major update is reflective of priorities both from this project as well as Forward Pinellas transportation priorities. And so with that, I'm happy to take any questions any of you may have.
Any questions? Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a comment. Jacob, thank you for that presentation. I think these are really positive changes to the system. And I just want to commend you and your team for the public outreach that you did. The fact that we're making these changes and we didn't have a mob of angry people with torches and pitchforks coming to the board meeting it just underscores the fact that you did a great job with public outreach and the fact that you addressed their concerns and made tweaks and changes along the way. So I think this is very, very positive, and I just want to say hats off to you and your team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor Freeney.
You answered a lot of my questions as you went along, but just a generic question. What kind of numbers create a legitimate route for the bus service?
Do you mean in terms of ridership?
Ridership.
So I would say it's, so that was an interesting question that we asked ourselves during this process. So the kind of route you want just depends on frankly, the type of service or the community that you have. So frankly, earlier in this process, there is a debate in the industry. It's called different things, and here we called it frequency versus coverage. So the most ideal transit route is, of course, a route that goes ideally in a straight line, doesn't meander much, and serves a lot of mixture of uses. So that's why, routes like the Route 4 or the Sunrunner, for example, have higher ridership because they have higher frequency. They pass through dense residential, commercial areas, et cetera. But that being said, we know there's lots of communities, maybe more suburban communities or even rural communities that, while more widespread and less dense, there's still a demand for transit, but that type of service will look a little bit different than, say, a frequent Sunrunner route, which is why in these recommendations, we actually changed a Route 67 that goes on Hercules to an on-demand zone, since there was less ridership there, but still some ridership and still warrants some level of service. We just changed the nature of the service in that area. So I would say it was a long-winded way of saying it depends on the area.
No, thank you. That was a great answer, and thanks for the report.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. What warrants, I see that you have a trip to the beach at Clearwater. Do you have any forecast of other beaches that could get, maybe Dunedin? I don't know if they would want it or not, but I know Fred Howard Park is a beach up in Tarpon Springs. We don't have any transportation there whatsoever. Is that in consideration?
So that's not a consideration for this plan, since this was a short-term operational plan. That being said, that's certainly something we could talk about as we look at our major update to the transit development plan. That would help. We could put in lists for new services that we're seeking funding for. Can certainly look into that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh, Commissioner, council member.
Yeah, sorry to be late. Not regarding this, but the question regarding the new terminal in downtown Clearwater. I know that the website said fall of 2025 beginning construction and hope to be finished in the winter of 26. Are we still on schedule with that? I haven't heard an update in a while.
I can go back to the team for an update. From my understanding, I thought the construction completion date might now be in 2027. But that being said, let me go to I'll go to our project management office and get a concrete timeline wherever we're at to make sure you're informed.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I think if we are moving the timeline, let's make sure we update the website, because the current website does have winter of 25.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your presentation. That's no actions needed today, so we'll move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And we'll move on to the director's report. Whit.
Okay, and I won't take 45 minutes on this one. We've got a few items here. Again, the data minute and the safety minute are supposed to be fairly quick hit items, so I'm not going to talk very much. I did want to just point out and recognize Kyle Simpson and others in the law enforcement community and around the county for their support on the Coordinated Education and Enforcement Day that we had for the Pinellas Trail. That was held on February 22nd. And you have in your packet some of the statistics from the engagements that occurred on the trail. And I don't need to tell you all that we've been hearing increasingly more complaints about courtesy and respect and behavior on the trail in a variety of manners. It seems to be in the more congested parts of the trail where we have those dense development activities and a lot of different people using the trail. However, the law enforcement community has certainly stepped up. They are great partners in this effort. And I have seen other indications of more enforcement along the trail with officers out there on bikes and also, warning people and in some cases issuing citations when people run red lights or stop signs. So the engagements here mostly are verbal warnings. We had a number of agencies participate in that, and we're just going to continue to push for these sort of things and do them as frequently as people are willing. So the information's there for you all to share, and I'm open to any questions that you might have. And we don't have Kyle here today. Kyle's out of country or something like that. It seems like he's always traveling somewhere exotic, but we'll pass along any questions or comments you have to Kyle.
Okay, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a comment, Whit, I appreciate very much your effort in organizing this. And I hope we can, we've talked about trying to do it more than once a year, and I hope we can pull it off. But I just want to remind everybody that may be watching that, to my surprise, when I was talking with the Tarpon Springs officer that chairs the Trail Enforcement Task Force Commission, that they don't very rarely get calls for service on the trail. So, law enforcement, it's easy to go on Facebook and be a keyboard warrior and spout off about, the gang of e-bikes that was popping wheelies. But unless law enforcement gets a call for service, they're not going to respond. I mean, they're going to put resources where they know that there's issues. So I just encourage people that are out there that if you see something that needs attention, just call a non-emergency number for whether it's the sheriff's office or whatever jurisdiction you're in, and just report it. I mean, the incident may be gone by the time an officer gets there, but at least they're aware of it, and if they start to see a pattern of things, then they'll start paying more attention to it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We are working with the county to put that information out on social media as well, so that's a great reminder. Thank you.
Councilman Menino.
Yeah, thank you for the efforts and for the report. I think it's important, and echo what the commissioner said many times, is our lack of consistency at intersections throughout these spans. It's troublesome, and we can enforce and try to curb and change behaviors, but one intersection you have to push a blinking light, the next intersection is a four-way stop, and the next one is nothing. Right. If there's a way to find out how to consistently keep people safe moving through there with a consistent message, I think is important.
That's wonderful to hear. You know, I've been saying that for 9 years, it feels like, and in the last couple of years, I think I've heard several of you start to say that as well. And so we're renewing our efforts to work with our local government staff members to have a little more consistency along the trail. There are some locations where a full signal is the right strategy, like such as Skinner and Dunedin, but there are other locations where we need to recognize the trail as a regional asset, and some of these small, low-volume cross streets don't carry nearly the same volume as the trail in some cases. And so why are we making the trail user stop there? So we're going to look at that.
Yeah, I appreciate. I mean, I almost see people get run over on Sunset Point every single day. I don't think there's anything, and they just come flying through, and there's no stop for the cars at all. They're blocked by bushes. If you don't catch them within a 10-foot view and you're on the brake already, it's scary.
That's a one to pay attention to for sure. While I'm on the safety minute, is there another question or comment? Yes, sir.
It's a question and a comment. I don't put too much into this because I'll be honest to tell you, and I'm sure everybody in the room knows this, for some reason, there has been a lack of patience with people on boats, with people in the cars, with people on bicycles, and truthfully, everybody runs to Facebook to, like, that's the solving of America's problem, and it's the furthest thing. As Commissioner Scott said, we don't get any calls, and I read every report from Tarpon Springs. We get 0 reports. The only reports we get, of course, is vagrants that are asleep or they, in the streets there. But, I still would like to see a suggestion of a motion sensor light that they don't have to stop, because these professional bikers do not stop to push that button. It's the weekend bicyclist that stops to push it and waits. They just fly through, I know, Tarpon Avenue at 30 miles an hour, and if there's a car coming, so be it. But if we had a sensor that could pick them up and turn that light on before they get there, could it save a life? Yes. And I'm sure there's a few other places that we could put these things in. I know that the Elfers has been continued, and I believe at this point we're now waiting for, from what I understand, an arm on Alt 19, because you can't use that road right now until that's done, because that's a death trap. But I don't really like to listen to all of the comments on Facebook. It's just, everybody's got something to complain about, and it doesn't help anybody. Call the right source, and you'd get more help that way. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Just one little thing, I wanted to highlight the editorial that we put in front of you on pedestrian safety. It seems like timely with the safety minute. I encourage you to take a look at it and read it. I'm not going to quote it or anything, but I was happy to have provided some background information many months ago to the Tampa Bay Times editorial team that produced it. It's the second in a series, and I think they're going to be doing a few more. So I just encourage you to take a look at it. It's very thorough and has some solid recommendations, in my opinion.
Before you jump to the next one real quick, I wanted to bring up that I talked to a couple of deputies, sheriff deputies, that have started to see a trend, not necessarily e-bikes, but it's another level of e-bike that goes even faster. And I guess even the throttle on those can be taken off, so it makes it even faster. And parents are buying them for their kids, thinking they're legal, and they're not. And so then the deputies become the bearer of bad news, and it's a lot of pressure on deputies. But they're used to that, but nonetheless, I've asked Whit if we can look into a little more messaging for our residents to make sure they understand that they're getting into an arena. It's almost like a dirt bike, but it's just outrageous speeds. And again, we're mixing a lot of speeds on the trail right now. Walkers in wheelchairs right along bicycles that are going 30 miles an hour along, different, and it's really becoming a problem. And this, I didn't even know about this latest thing, but some of the deputies have said that we've got some problems, and they're just, I don't know if there are deaths waiting to happen, but when you're traveling at those speeds, and kids, of course, kids never think they're going to get hurt. And I'm not trying to sound too old, but I do remember those a long time ago thinking that, oh, we can't get hurt, and then they die. So, and parents are be devastated. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to throw in. Go ahead to the next.
When you brought that up to me, we actually talked internally, and we have a staff issue about that, and it seems like all the cool kids are getting those bikes. So getting something out there timely would be
It's a lot of money they're spending on something that may really not have a lot of value legally. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, the next item is just our data minute on the Gateway Expressway, and I think there's some pretty fascinating findings about this. We looked at traffic counts on the Gateway Expressway and surrounding roadways, and you can see a map in your packet. We also did some travel demand forecasting out to the year 2050 with our travel demand model to look at the, as growth occurs, where we see traffic increasing or decreasing in this area. And decreasing is great. That's what the Gateway Expressway is intended to do. And anecdotally, I've told people that I saved 10 minutes on my trip to St. Petersburg by using the Gateway Expressway instead of the 49th Ulmerton Road intersection and all that mess. And I haven't really timed it, but it feels like 10 minutes. So you can see on the map where there are decreases and increases in the traffic counts and then the projections. And some of you may remember Commissioner Karen Seal, when she was on this board several years ago, she issued a warning that we need to be mindful about the intersection of McMullen Booth and Drew Street. With the increase in traffic on the Bayside Bridge, that intersection is, in her opinion, was going to become saturated. And you can see the increases in projected volume on the Bayside Bridge as more people have access to that corridor with the Gateway Expressway. So just, again, not to spend a lot of time on these topics, but I think it's very helpful to dive into this. And what I know about toll roads, and I think the department would back me up, is that just like a new transit service, like the Sunrunner and others, it takes a while for the public to get used to the new travel pattern, to test it out and get comfortable with it. And we should give these things a few years of time to see what the true ridership or usage will be. So we're going to continue to monitor the Gateway Expressway as well. We spent $600 million to build that, and it needs to be an effective project. And so far, it seems to be doing what it's intended to do. That's my takeaway on this. Any questions for this item? All right, the next item I'm going to go to is the legislative update. And in your packet, you have some material that was dated last Thursday, so you know how that means with the legislature. I just wanted to highlight that there are some bills being heard today on the floor. Senate Bill 180, which is the land use regulation regarding hurricanes, is up for a floor vote today. It, along with its companion, significantly restricts local government's ability to adopt more stringent land use regulations until October 1st, 2027. There's some bills relating to accessory dwelling units and single-family and duplex zoning districts that requires local governments to allow them. That's Senate Bill 184. That's up for a floor vote today. The transportation bill by Senator DeSegli has passed all its committees, but is not yet scheduled for a floor vote. This bill has been amended to add quality performance metrics for safety, infrastructure condition, congestion relief, and mobility that the department and MPOs must work together to address. Also, advanced air mobility and autonomous vehicles and motorized scooters used for freight, commuter, or micromobility purposes must be addressed in the long-range transportation plan. And the good news is the city of St. Petersburg has formed an advanced air mobility task force. I've been appointed to serve on that. I'm looking forward to our first meeting in a few weeks. And then the Live Local Act, there's an expansion of the Live Local Act. The Senate version is a little better than the House version, which is a massive expansion of the Live Local Act. The Senate version appears to be moving. The House version seems to be stalled. So we're pleased with that result. The Live Local Act is bringing some good things, but it also is a big preemption, and expanding that preemption is not something I think we would support. And then broadening the definition of hazardous walking conditions is moving, and that has passed a House floor vote, not yet scheduled in the Senate. So that's one. There's some kind of no-brainers being added to there in terms of crossing at interstate junctions becoming a hazardous walking condition, and that seems to make some sense.
Yeah, one of those restriction things that might be affecting us locally is that the state in 2014 allowed a lot of leeway for Airbnbs to enter our residential communities. And it's really changing the nature of some of our communities. And so we at the county, in the unincorporated area, we've been working hard to try to curtail some of that, just to the extent that we can. And this Senate Bill 180 might undermine our ability to try to rein in what they dysfunctionally created 10 years ago. And so we had a lot of neighborhoods that came in over the last month or two explaining in tearful ways how this is changing their neighborhood. And so really that really bothers me about that. Is it Senate Bill 180 you said? That is, it has the opportunity to reverse again efforts that we're trying to make. And I think Commissioner Scott sent some replay of our meeting up to some of our legislative delegation to educate them on what the neighbors that they may have overlooked are saying about that intrusion.
Indeed, I did. Yes, I sent the link to the video of that meeting and said start at this point and go to this point so you can hear for yourself what it is we're dealing with. And let you know that on Saturday night I tested the new short-term rental emergency alert system at the county. So it's some things that need to be worked out on that, but overall good. But the downside was sheriff's deputy showed up very quickly, called code for the short-term hotline, and the sheriff's deputy showed up very quickly. It's an automated hotline. You can even upload video, audio, so it's really pretty well done. But deputy goes to the door, nobody answers the door. Got no probable cause.
Turn their power off. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Don't give me any idea. So, there's a limitation there. Yeah. They don't come to the door, they don't come to the door.
I think one of the things we're trying to do is register these facilities so that we can understand where the problem children are.
Well, exactly. And this is, we've only passed this just a couple of weeks ago, so there's a lot to learn here, and I think a lot to be gained. So we'll just monitor it and see how it goes.
But thank you for sending that up to our elected officials in Tallahassee.
Yeah. And even when I was up there 2 weeks ago, I was with Senator DeSigley, and I said, well, your Bill 180 here, might just really take the legs out of our new ordinance there. And he said, I know, I saw the video.
Good. Well, yeah. They're hearing you. I don't know how much they're listening, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll go on to the next item. Just a heads up, we have a new agenda item that we're going to be adding, which is committee communications, if I can say that right. And it's really to bring forward to the board items that the committees are debating and discussing that aren't necessarily on the board's agenda. You have two items from the School Transportation Safety Committee addressing topics that they have some concerns about, and one of them is that the STSC, the School Transportation Safety Committee, believes that there is a greater incidence of people passing stopped school buses than was articulated to this board earlier this year, and they passed the following motions for the board's consideration: to request that the board ask Pinellas County School District to participate in the National Association of State Directors Pupil Transportation Services illegal passing of school buses survey, that's specific, that is conducted annually. And if they are not currently participating, to encourage them to participate in that survey. Similarly, the committee also would like to hear from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office regarding their position on participating in camera enforcement programs for school zone speeding and illegal school bus passing. Both of those are issues that the legislature passed, I believe in 2023, but it wasn't required, it was enabled for school districts and local governments respectively to participate in those programs. And we've heard that there's a lack of support, and I think the committee just wants to confirm that and understand the rationale for it. So if the board is in agreement, then we will reach out to these organizations and pass along that request for information. I don't think we need a motion. I'm just looking for consensus from the board. Thumbs up. Then we'll follow the committee's recommendation.
Mostly nodding heads.
Okay.
That was a long 45-minute discussion.
I can imagine.
But it was worth it though. It really was worth it.
Really? Shocking.
Yes, no, don't believe that.
Say that again.
Lightning.
Commissioner, what'd you say?
Yeah.
No.
Tornadoes are already happening.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The last item that I have for you on the agenda is just a open-ended follow-up to the board work session that we had on March 5th. I was really encouraged by the conversation, and that's what we want. There's the dialogue, the questions. It was a good discussion, I thought. I apologize if it was a little rushed at the end with that third item that we added. We do have the next workshop that's coming up in May, on May 9th. Is that correct, Tina? And we will be discussing with you our proposed budget for the upcoming year. And we will also be discussing the Gateway Master Plan implementation. I've heard from a few of you about some future topics. Not sure if we'll fit them in May or not. There has been a request to do regularly a broader overview of how the agency functions, how it operates, some of its foundational documents that guide what we do and how we do it. And we can cover some of that in the budget conversation, so I think that may satisfy that. But I'll just open it up for feedback on that first work session. Did it meet your objectives, and are there other future topics you'd like us to consider? And you can either say that now or you can contact me separately.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
I want to make use of your time. We want. I love hearing that because I don't want you to walk away from something saying that wasn't worthwhile.
It was a little crash landing at the end, but I mean, trying to get too much into one, maybe we just cut down the number of topics. But other than that, I thought it was great.
Okay, well then, that's what I need to hear. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, and is that all you had?
That's all I've got.
Okay, and I know that before we finish up here, I wanted to thank Deputy Skypack for being here today, protecting us. It's always good to have you folks here in the room doing what you do. So, and I know, Tina, did you have something that you wanted to bring up?
Actually, I have a couple items today.
Okay.
I just wanted to remind you all that I'm hounding you with emails about WIT's annual performance evaluation. Thank you to those of you that have already completed one of the SurveyMonkey surveys. The executive committee will meet again on May 9th following the board work session, and it's imperative that they have valuable information from you all to complete the process for WIT's annual performance evaluation. And we did provide 2 options to you this year because some of you are so new and we recognize that you may not be ready yet to score him, 1 to 5 on every minute topic that we put in the longer surveys. But if you do have commentary, please get that in before close of business on Monday. And those of you who are on the executive committee or have been around long enough, we appreciate it if you take the time to do the longer survey. So that's regarding WIT's evaluation. Also be reminded if you're interested in any Forward Pinellas logo shirts or other gear, I've been sending out emails about that. If you can get that information to me, we are going to be able to meet the minimum order this time. So if you're interested, we don't do it very often because of the order minimum. And then also, I just want to remind folks about the MPOAC Weekend Institute in Tampa, May 16th and 17th. It's nice that it's conveniently being held in Tampa this year, and we've already had 4 new board members sign up to take that. And so we have not been told that we have to stop registering folks. So if you're new and you're interested, I know anybody who's taken it in the past always says it's a really valuable weekend spent learning about how the MPO functions. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before we call? Yes, Commissioner Mayor.
Did you say it's May 16th, 17th, right? Which is the TBRPC conference on sustainability, so we'll be tied up at least.
Yeah. Well, figured out how to be in 2 places at once, right? We'd be better off.
They usually offer one in Orlando too, so we can look at that if there's an interest in braving I-4 for that trip.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order? Thank you, everybody, for your input today. Really appreciate it, and this meeting is adjourned.